I rented a cheap room while backpacking abroad. The owner said, "Ignore any whispers, they're just echoes." But the whispers weren't echoing me. It was a last-minute stay. A dusty inn perched on a cliff in a town that didn't appear on maps. The kind of place with doors that don't quite fit their frames. The kind where time feels slower. The owner was an old man who barely looked at me. He handed me the brass key and said in a hoarse voice, "Room 6. No smoking, no mirrors. And if you hear whispers, ignore them. Just echoes." I thought he was being eccentric. That night, after a long walk, I fell asleep fast. At 3:33 a.m., I woke up to a voice whispering, not mine, not next door. In my room, soft, fast. Foreign language at first, then English. He's asleep. Not for long. Wait, what if he's the wrong one? I sat up in bed, heart pounding. The room was empty. I checked the hallway. Silent. Deserted. When I returned, I found something scratched into the inside of the door. He hears us, and the whispering stopped just long enough for someone to knock softly from inside the wardrobe. The whispers started arguing, not talking to me about me. One voice wanted me gone. The other one said I was perfect. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. At sunrise, I asked the innkeeper about the whispers. He didn't answer, just stared at me with fear. Told me room 6 hadn't been rented in 6 years, that he only gave me that key because it wanted you there. What wanted me? I asked. He didn't say. He just gave me a pouch of salt and told me to pour a circle before sunset. You'll hear them again tonight. Don't leave the circle. And whatever you do, don't answer when they say your name. I thought about leaving, but something pulled me back to the room. When night fell, the whispers returned. This time louder, less human. They argued, "He's the one. He's not ready. Let's show him. No, if he sees us, he can't go back." Then everything went quiet, until I heard my own voice whisper from the ceiling, "Please, help me." I stood to run, and the salt circle lit up, burning bright red. Outside the circle, my shadow was still standing. The next morning, I told the owner I was leaving. He nodded and locked the front gate. I demanded he open it. He just said, "The choice has been made. You heard them, now they see you." I packed my things, but the room didn't look the same. It had changed, the ceiling taller, the corners darker. The wardrobe door was open now. Inside was a staircase, spiraling down into darkness. At the top step, written in chalk, "Return what was taken." I didn't go down. Instead, I opened my backpack to grab my passport and froze. Inside was something I didn't pack, a glass jar, filled with what looked like breath, fog, a label on it. His last breath, 1874. Suddenly, I remembered the voices again. He's perfect, his soul still soft. Not yet. Let him see. The whispers came from everywhere now, from the mirror, from inside my ears. Return it and we'll let you go. Or keep it and stay with us forever. The wardrobe creaked. Steps rose from the darkness. Someone was climbing out. I dropped the jar. It shattered, and everything went black. I woke up in room 6, same dusty room, same key on the table. But now no one runs the inn. The town is empty. The gate is locked from the outside. And every night at 3:33 a.m., I hear someone new check in. And the whispers? They've stopped arguing. They're just laughing now. Room 6 isn't haunted. It's hungry, and it keeps what it likes. My doorbell camera pinged at 2:17 a.m. I live alone, deep in the woods, no neighbors for miles. It was a Tuesday night, cold, silent, nothing but wind outside. I was halfway through editing a video when my phone buzzed. Ping. Doorbell camera activity. 2:17 a.m. I frowned. No one ever comes out here. I swiped to the live feed and froze. A woman was standing at my door. No shoes, soaked hair, just standing there, inches from the lens, staring straight in, not blinking. I didn't recognize her. No car in the driveway. No footprints in the snow. She wasn't moving, just breathing. Heavy, fog on the lens. Then she smiled, and the feed cut to black. I stayed frozen for a full minute. Then I opened the feed again. No one there. I checked the full recording. It ended with her still standing. No footage of her leaving. No glitch. No transition. Just gone. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, there were wet footprints inside my hallway, and the door was still locked. There were no signs of a break-in, but someone had walked into my house barefoot and vanished. I checked everything. The windows, the locks, nothing broken, no alarms tripped. Just the wet prints trailing from the door to my bedroom. I checked my security logs. The footage didn't match the timeline. It skipped from 2:19 a.m. to 3:07 a.m. 48 minutes. Gone. Then I found a new file in the doorbell cam folder. Not named by timestamp like the rest. Just a single word. Look. I opened it, and it was me, asleep in bed. Shot from the foot of the bed, like someone was standing there, filming. Except I never set up any indoor cameras. At the end of the clip, the figure stepped closer. Slow, barefoot, breathing hard. I reached toward the screen to pause, and in the last second, she turned the camera to face herself. The same woman from the door, now inside. I reported everything. Police came, took the footage. They said it was impossible because the camera's battery had been dead for weeks. The police said no break-in. The footage was corrupted. But that night, my doorbell rang again at 2:17 a.m. on the dot. This time I didn't check the live feed. I turned off every light in the house, sat by the front window, watched. No one was outside, no footsteps. Then I heard it, a knock, not at the front door. From the hallway, I turned slowly. Another knock, coming from my bedroom closet. I grabbed my flashlight, my phone, and I opened the door. But something was carved into the inside of the wood, etched in thin, bleeding letters. Thanks for letting me in. I moved out the next day, burned the camera, changed my number, left everything behind. But last night, a package showed up at my new apartment. No label, no return address. Inside, my old doorbell cam, fully charged, already recording, and through the live feed, I can see someone standing just outside, still barefoot, still smiling. Don't answer your door tonight. She's looking for a new house. I remembered my 10th birthday today. The cake, the guests, the laughter. The problem is, my parents died when I was 8. It hit me while brushing my teeth. A flash of a birthday, balloons, a chocolate cake with candles. My parents smiling, singing. My 10th birthday. but that can't be right. They were both killed in a car crash 2 years earlier. There was no 10th birthday. But the memory felt real. The smell of frosting, the squeak of my sneakers on the kitchen tiles, even the way my mom whispered, "Make a wish." I shook it off. Probably a dream, a trick of grief. Then I checked my old photo box, and I froze. There was a picture, me at 10. Same cake, same scene. A photo I've never seen before. I flipped it over, scrawled in red ink, "Do not remember." When I looked back at the photo, my parents' eyes had been scratched out. I started having dreams I've never had before, waking up in places I haven't lived since childhood. But I'm not dreaming. I'm remembering. Each night since I found the photo, I wake up in the same place, the old house, the one we lived in before the accident. It's always the same scene, the living room. Me standing in the dark. My parents standing across from me, smiling, still, until their faces glitch like static on a TV screen, and the smile stays too long. When I wake up, something's wrong in my room. The air smells like birthday candles. The calendar resets itself to May 17th, my birthday. Yesterday I found something under my pillow, another photo, same party, same warning on the back, "Stop remembering." It brings them closer. I tried throwing the photos out. This morning they were back in the box, but now there were 6 more, all from birthdays I never had, and in each one I look a little older. But my parents, they never change. One of the new photos shows next year's date, and I'm not smiling in that one. I'm crying. I stayed up all night with the lights on, but at 3:08 a.m., the candles lit themselves in the kitchen. I heard my mom humming the birthday song. When I crept into the kitchen, the cake was already there, 10 candles. Again, same frosting, same handwriting. "Make a wish," but this time I saw it, my own handwriting. I had written the name on the cake, not "Happy Birthday." It said, "Come back." And behind me I heard their voices, my parents, calling my name, soft, familiar, loving, but wrong. The kind of wrong that makes your bones freeze before your mind catches up. I turned around slowly. Their faces were smooth, featureless, like a memory that never had detail. "One more birthday," they whispered in unison. "Then we stay." I ran back to my room, back to the photo box, but it was empty, except for one last Polaroid. Me, older, sitting at the birthday table, surrounded by people with no faces. My parents among them, and on the back, "Happy 11th, that birthday's next week." And now I remember all of it. My landlord told me the other tenant kept to herself, but someone cries on the other side of my bedroom wall every single night. When I moved into the apartment, it was dirt cheap, a little too cheap. 1 bedroom, small kitchen, shared hallway with one other tenant, whose door was always shut. The landlord said she was quiet. "Hardly ever comes out," he said. "You'll hardly notice her." He wasn't wrong at first. I never saw her, never heard a door open or close. But every night, always around 1:13 a.m., I'd hear someone crying. Not sobbing, not loud, just soft, tired, broken crying, like someone had nothing left. It always came from behind my bedroom wall, the wall that should have been shared with the other unit. I knocked once. The crying stopped and didn't start again until the next night. I tried asking the landlord. He just shrugged. "She's quiet," he repeated, "real quiet." But the crying never stopped. And one night I noticed something new. When I got out of bed and walked into the bathroom, my mirror was fogged up. But I hadn't used hot water. Just 5 words were written in the glass. "Do not trust the wall." And when I wiped it away, I swear I saw someone standing behind me. I finally worked up the nerve to ask the landlord about the girl next door. His answer made my stomach drop. I called the landlord again. "Listen," I said, "who exactly lives next door?" Silence, then nobody. "You're the only tenant right now." I reminded him about the crying, the mirror, the writing. He told me to stop messing with him, told me to get some sleep. That night, the crying started earlier. But it wasn't just crying anymore. There were whispers behind the wall. Phrases like, "She buried me here. Not her fault. Look in the light." I sat up all night, terrified, listening. Then I remembered something. There was a small wall vent near the floor between our units. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and shined it into the vent. At first, all I saw was dust and darkness. Then a face, pale, eyes wide, staring right back at me from the other side. I dropped the phone. When I picked it back up, she was gone, and written in the dust along the inside edge of the vent, "The mirror is the door." That night I covered every mirror in the apartment, but I forgot one. The small one in the hallway had already fogged up. The mirror in the hallway fogged over again. This time I didn't wait. I wiped it and saw a room that wasn't mine. I stared at the glass. On my side, bare hallway. On the other side, something dimmer, older. The reflection wasn't mine. It was a different room, same mirror, different world. I stepped back. Then words began to form this time while I watched. "Help me." Then, "She is me." The bathroom light flickered. I ran inside. The mirror was fogged again, but instead of words, it was her, the crying girl. This time she looked directly at me and mouthed something. Over and over, "Let me out, let me out, let me out." And then she screamed. The mirror shattered. I found a loose panel behind it like a sealed cutout in the wall. I pried it open, and inside was a small hidden space, barely big enough to crouch in. There were bones, small, wrapped in rotting fabric, and a necklace. It matched the girl from the mirror. I called the cops. They found the remains. The coroner dated them 1983. They never found a record of a second tenant. They said I imagined it all, but I know better. I've moved twice since then. Still, sometimes when I shower, the bathroom mirror fogs up, and the crying returns. She still wants out. And now she knows your name too.